Hi everyone. So let's talk a little bit about test-driven development, the pros and the cons. Now, I'm going to be honest with you and say that when I first started learning programming, or rather when I got into the university that I went to, it was based around Java programming. And what happened was that we learned test-driven development from the get-go. Like they were really focusing on it. And so I never had like a reason to question the validity in these ideas that this is very important. Everything we were sold the idea that it was really important, right? And it is really important. But my first job, when I went out and became an intern at a company called Interaktionsbyrån, or the Techno Creatives that they go by today, their business was really around prototyping, and like the average life cycles of most of their projects weren't all that long. It was more focused on fast delivery and good design, really good design. That's was their cornerstone. And the people who ran that company, or who still run today, they had that mindset, and they weren't. I got the sensation, at least, that they weren't really experienced in terms of like managing long-living products. They only really had one, which they outsourced to an external company that did most of the development work. And they were really designers and salespeople. They didn't really have much in terms of experience of product management and product ownership. So basically I was a really poor match for that. I would say horrendously so. I think that I did pretty well, all things considered, but it wasn't really. It's just I'm gonna be honest with you, I fucked up big time. So if you're ever that was I would say my experience working there. I mean, the people were amazing, but I was so out of my depth as a beginner programmer, and there were really nothing in terms of support, and the system I was building was really complicated. I still kept I kept going because I'm one of those people who I'm just as scared as everybody else, but I don't let the fear hold me back. I cry all the way through, and I bitch and I moan, but I do it. I keep on moving because that's the only way I'll go anywhere. Anywho, so back to the fundamental question here. So is test-driven development something that you do for every single project? Now, after working at Ticketmaster, where testing was extremely important, I finally realized where the mismatch had been with my previous company. So test-driven development is something that the corporations, the big projects, where they have a brand, they have lots of money, and they're more focused on stability, quality, that sort of thing. But if you're working for a smaller company, a small consultant agency or whatever, they don't have that. Their requirements is that you need to ship. It just has to work. It doesn't have to be really well made. So this, if you're just starting out, you're gonna hear a lot of talk about test-driven development. But remember, keep a level head. It's not a silver bullet. Sometimes you need to have a test-driven development environment, that's your environment, and then you need to be able to write it. But it's not something you use for every project. I would even say to people who are running a startup, if you're just starting out, you have this great idea and you want to build something and get some money, or start getting investors, don't even do tests. Fuck it, just make it work. Because if you have only so much time and income. Remember, tests are expensive. In the long term, you need tests because your product is going to suffer when it starts getting big. But when it's a small product and you don't even have a revenue stream, you don't even know if somebody's going to buy your system or pay you for it, or if it's going to have any value, then you don't why test it? I mean, I made the same mistake on my startup. I wasted so much time writing so many tests and doing perfect practices for a corporation that it took me so long to get something out of the door. And remember, a system nobody uses isn't worth anything.